Peace, love, grace, mercy, courage, patience, and blessings be multiplied unto you. I've been going through a whirlwind for a few months now, and so that's why my videos are pretty infrequent. Personal problems, I don't really want to get all into it, but listen, life's tough. You know, as you see the world around you spiraling out of control, my life is a reflection of that, but blessed all at the same time. So it's a weird dynamic. Um, but yet the scriptures it testify to the different tribulations we would go through. But I come on to you this morning to talk to you about, you need to create a library for yourself. And what I mean is books. You need to have some books, right? And these books, they gonna be your lifeline because your first library is gonna be up here, having things in your head, right? Remembering the scriptures, walking in the way. But then, they got all kind of information out there that's gonna benefit you, right? Information about food, information about mathematics, physics, chemistry, finances, all that stuff is to your benefit, right? Because you need that. I guess the first book I'll come on to you with is the first book I ever read, and that's this Rich Dad Poor Dad. And I'm not one to read fiction books and stuff like that, and I actually made it through high school with a terrible grade point average, but I had never read a book before. I used to read like the questions and try to figure out the answer from there and stuff like that, but I wouldn't do none of the reading in English class. Not my finest moments. And to think that I, took a little pride in never reading a book in high school is kind of foolishness. But this book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, it talked about when he went to go get a job and he had to sit in the office and wait as the boss saw other people in front of him, and he was just sitting the whole time waiting. He was going in there and asking for a raise because he felt like he wasn't being paid fairly. And what he learned from that was that, as long as you work for somebody, no matter how good you always going to be going up in there with your hand out asking for more money. But if you create a business for yourself, then, you set your own limits as far as your willingness to be innovative and work hard and go after it. That's your limit. But when you work for somebody, your limit is what they set over you. And it's like, when you already with a company, all the deals and all that are for the new people. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you can get this for 30% off, 50% off for the new customers. But when they already got you, it don't matter. It's like you could be doing a job for a company for 20 years, and then some young person come in and they pay them 30-40% more than you, and you got to teach them how to do that job. You see? So you want to develop skills, and you develop skills by developing knowledge, right? And listen, the reason you want to get yourself a library is what happens if the internet ain't working and you can't go to YouTube, you can't do that. Search your TikTok or Instagram, whatever the case may be. Well, you're gonna need a book. And I prefer books. When I was in college, they had the ebooks and all that, and you could get one of them. I had them free, but I would still go spend $250, $300 on the real book because I knew I wanted it on my shelf because I knew that, man, I'm not gonna remember no calculus or differential equations or what I'm saying, all this engineering design stuff. I'm gonna have to go back and refer to that stuff if I want to use it. And so, knowledge is something that it's like muscles. You know what I'm saying? And muscles atrophy. If you don't use it, you lose it. You know what I'm saying? I done went through some very intense. We used to do proofs about how they came up with equations and different things like that. And man, I couldn't even tell you how to start doing a proof right now. But if I grab that book and go to the chapter and start off at the beginning, it ain't gonna take me long to get back to being able to like see what I'm looking at, I guess, because I got a foundation and I did it before. Yet, as I said before, the things you don't use, you lose. So, get yourself a library. I think the first book I'm gonna come on to you with to recommend is this book. It altered the course of my life and how I thought, and so that was my first um, understanding that me personally, I needed to be an entrepreneur. Now, being an entrepreneur is, I mean, it is, it's a dreadful thing. I mean, you got to do everything, and unless you got a lot of money, well, if you got a lot of money and you pay people to do everything, you're gonna lose everything. So it's a balancing act. You got to understand that being an entrepreneur, sometimes when you got employees, your employees get paid and you don't get paid. And so you got all kind of insurances and marketing costs and material. It's just so many different things you got to keep up being an entrepreneur. That is very difficult, and then it's all and so um, but yeah, get yourself a library. It's very important. Um, but the main book is the Bible. You need to get into them red words of the Lord Jesus, and then you know let the Spirit fall on you if He put it on you, and then all the rest of the scriptures He will reveal them onto you. But without having a relationship with the Lord Jesus, um, the Bible is going to be an endless labyrinth, because you got to think about all the different doctrines and denominations and so on and so forth. So you won't get clarity because the truth is right in front of you. Yet so many theologians and prophets and all this going on like that, they're gonna scramble your mind, and it's gonna be unprofitable for you. Meaning the Bible gonna be unprofitable for you because everybody gonna tell you what you read not to follow, but it's plain. You see. Anyway, get a library, get a Bible, and read some books.